Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The next question is about those who may be traveling during Ramadan. The answer to that lies in the same part of the ayah of Surah Al-Baqarah, فَمَنْ كَانَ مِنْكُمْ مَرِيضًا أَوْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ فَعِدَّةٌ مِنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرٍ. So whoever amongst you is ill or on a journey, يعني during Ramadan, then an equal number of other days. So whoever is ill or on a journey. But then, in order for a person to avail this concession not to fast during traveling, there have to be certain conditions that must be met. For instance, number one, the traveler must not have the intention to settle down in that place where he's traveling to. Number two, the journey must be long enough that prayers may be shortened. Long enough so that the prayers could be shortened. And number three, and this is according to majority of the scholars, even though if not all, is that the journey itself must be for some sound purpose, some good or valid purpose, and not for a sinful purpose, right? But then the question is, what about a short journey? What about when a person is traveling not too far, and especially if he knows that he has to come back the next day, for instance? What about that? Now, here the scholars have differed. For instance, there are two views. The majority of the scholars, including Imam Malik rahimullah, Imam Shafi rahimullah, and even Imam Abu Hanifa rahimullah, they were of the view that it is permissible for a person not to fast if even he is not going too far, because he's still traveling. Imam Ahmad rahimahullah, on the other hand, said that no, he still has to fast. What the scholars, however, are unanimous about, all the four madahib, based on the majority of the Sahaba, their opinion, radhiyallahu anhum, as well as the Tabi'een, is that fasting while traveling is permissible, it is correct, it is valid. So if the traveler fasts, it counts. If he does not, he doesn't have to make it up. Now, can this concession be cancelled by anything of not to fast during traveling? Yes. Two things. Number one, if the traveler has returned home, if the person enters their hometown, the place where they reside, then the concession ends. Or if the person changes their mind and decide to stay where they have traveled to, or they decide to stay there for a longer time, if not indefinitely, and that place is also suitable for settling in, then this person becomes a resident, and this person is not a traveler anymore, and thus cannot avail this concession. If you ask what is better, then, well, it depends on the situation. Number one, for instance, if it doesn't matter whether this person fasts or does not fast, it doesn't affect him, then it is better for him to fast. And there's a hadith on it, which is reported by Sahih Bukhari and Muslim. Abu Darda mentioned that we went out with Rasulullah on a journey during the month of Ramadan when it was intensely hot, until one of us would put his hand on his head because of the intense heat. No one amongst us was fasting apart from Rasulullah and Abdullah bin Rabah. Now, what it means that the others not fasting because they were finding it difficult was valid. Rasulullah and Abdullah, they did not find it too difficult, so they were fasting, and that was valid too. But also you have to remember that when you are fasting, because you it doesn't really affect me in this short journey, whether I'm fasting or not, then you have to also remember the other motivations that, you'll be able to finish the Ramadan fast on time within the blessed month. It will be easier for you also, because when everyone else is fasting, it's easier to fast. Also the fact that you'll be able to complete your duty quickly, right? But then the second situation is where it does affect you. Not too much, but it is easier for you not to fast. So if it is easier for you not to fast, then it is better not to fast when traveling in Ramadan. That is basically. So if something will cause some kind of hardship while you are traveling for you to fast, that it is makruh, it is disliked, and you shouldn't be neglecting the concession given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, the third situation, however, is if it is unbearable, it is very difficult, it can cause harm to a person to fast during traveling, then it is haram to fast, then it is forbidden to fast. And there's a report on that. Jabir ibn Abdullah radiallahu anh had reported, as collected by Muslim rahimullah, that Rasulullah went out to Makkah in the year of the conquest, in Ramadan that is, and fasted until he reached Qura al-Aghamim. The people were also fasting, but then he called for a cup of water, lifted it up so that people could see that he is breaking his fast. And it is reported, another report of the same hadith, another version of it, that it was at Asr, it was after Asr, between Asr and Maghrib, that he broke the fast. There were some people who continued fasting, even though it was extremely difficult, and it could harm them, right? In that case, do you know what Rasulullah said actually? He said, those are the disobedient ones. Those are the disobedient. This is mentioned, by the way, in the sharh of the hadith by Shaykh Muhammad ibn Uthaymeen rahimullah, that this is the ruling we derive from the hadith. What is the conclusion? As Imam Nawawi rahimullah has mentioned, that these hadith basically make it clear that it is better now to fast if it is easier for you to not fast when traveling. But it becomes haram for you to fast if it is very difficult for you. Yani it could harm you to fast during traveling. But if it doesn't matter whether you fast or not, then it is up to you. But in that case, it's better to fast. There's a report by Aisha radiallahu anh, and this is agreed upon, that Hamza ibn Amr radiallahu anh said to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, should I fast while traveling? And he used to fast a lot, and he was used to it. It's not something he found it difficult. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to him, if you want to, then fast. If you don't want to, then do not fast. Alhamdulillah for this beautiful practical deen. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us to avail the concession when it is better, and to not make an excuse when it is better to fast. Jazakumullah khairan.